Galnet News Digest, 11th of July 3305. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, Red Family hit squad foiled. Ex-slaves cause travel disruption for Port Isabelle residents. Disappointing response to meta-alloy shortage. Cosmetic Currency and Fledgling racetracks. Red Family hit squad foiled. An attempted assassination of turncoat gangster Jan Sandoval has been foiled by federal intelligence agents. Sandoval, who is in custody at FIA headquarters in Olympus Village after turning herself in last week, was targeted by a highly trained hit squad of Red Family gang members, who used forged documents to breach the outer ring of security before being identified and mown down by members of the FIA armed support group. The FIA believes that this apparent attempt on Sandoval's life lends credence to her story. In a press conference, FIA executive agent Viola Trask claimed that it showed that the information Sandoval has offered to share with the FIA is genuine and poses a legitimate threat to the future of the Red family in the Sol system. Sandoval's testimony is being prepared, in return for which she is expected to be granted immunity from prosecution. But isn't all this just a bit too easy? Is the FIA being led down the garden path? Why should Sandoval have chosen to turn herself in for no apparent reason? Is the FIA itself being infiltrated? The FIA would do well to take extreme care until the Red family has been turned into history. Ex-slaves cause travel disruption for Port Isabelle residents. Flights out of Port Isabelle in the Iotienses after freed imperial slaves stormed the starport. During ugly scenes in which they wielded improvised hand weapons, the slaves attempted to hijack ships belonging to the Autonomy anti-slavery group in an unsuccessful attempt to leave behind the squalid conditions they find themselves in after being forcibly freed 3 weeks ago. Of the 4,000 slaves, many have been blockading government buildings, demanding to be given back their imperial slave status so they can complete their terms of servitude and resume life as imperial citizens. The vast majority have been begging on the streets, with some success, prompting some of the more enlightened citizens of Port Isabelle to open food banks, to prevent the slaves from starving to death on the streets. What choices are open to the city authorities? If they can't arrange for the slaves to be taken back into servitude, these freed slaves, who have no official status or place within imperial society, may need to be deported to an independent system where they can be used as labourers. If they're allowed to starve to death, they will only be good for fertiliser. Disappointing response to meta-alloy shortage. The appeal by Aegis Corps for exploration data to help it identify possible new sources of that increasingly rare commodity meta-alloys has received a poor response, with few commanders turning in data, and only the barest minimum of the hoped-for goals achieved. With this low level of support, the Aegis initiative cannot possibly continue. Cosmetic Currency and Fledgling racetracks. The Pilots Federation has hinted at what it has been working on, with good news for commanders who like racing and better news for commanders who like their ships to look good. Theo, the happy helper, will be there to handhold new commanders from September. Not only will he take new commanders through the basics of navigation, missions, and piracy, he will also take them round a short race course with hoops the commander must fly through along the way. This opens the door to possible future custom racetracks using the hoops. Although nothing specific has yet been announced, hopes are high over at Elite Racers and the Buckyball Racing Club, which coincidentally is just about to start a new race challenge, the Seven Sisters Speedway, round the Pleiades. There will also be a new currency, the ARCs. The name ARCs doesn't stand for anything, Like all new currencies, its creation is a compromise. The name chosen by the chairman of the Pilots Federation, by sticking a pin into a short list of names. Arcs will be used for a bespoke tarting of spaceships and can be earned or bought. To celebrate, the multi-pack version of paint jobs will be made available to buy separately, so if you only want the orange one, you won't have to buy the purple one too. More impressively, commanders will also be able to equip new paint jobs while on a 6-month mission to the far edge of the galaxy, while far from the nearest space station. This will not be done using a team of painters, dispatched to rendezvous with your ship. That would be silly. Instead, each ship will be equipped with a chameleon-like programmable colour-changing surface, requiring just a change of program and appropriate payment to activate. Of course, if you are on a 6-month mission to the far edge of the galaxy, you can change your ship's paint job as much as you like and it won't make any difference. After a few months in space, the paint layer has vanished completely, and all paint jobs look identical. And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news, so you don't have to.